Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about glucocorticoid classification. We can classify glucocorticoids into three types. One, short acting, intermediate acting and long acting. Short acting glucocorticoids include hydrocortisone and cortisone. These have minimum glucocorticoid activity and these are least potent. Then we have intermediate acting glucocorticoids which include prednisone, prednisolone, meprednisolone, methylprednisolone, triamcinolone and fluprednisolone. Then we also have long-acting glucocorticoids which include paramethazone, betamethasone, which is most potent is betamethasone. Then we have dexamethasone which has maximum glucocorticoid activity. Then we have mineralocorticoids. In the mineralocorticoids, these include DOCA, fludrocortisone and aldosterone. Fludrocortisone is most potent whereas aldosterone has maximum mineralocorticoid activity. Then if you see the glucocorticoid with maximum mineralocorticoid activity include, we have hydrocortisone. Then if you see the steroid with maximum topical action includes triamcinolone, and selective mineralocorticoid action with zero glucocorticoid action is seen in DOCA, where you see only mineralocorticoid activity. Selective glucocorticoid action with zero mineralocorticoid activity is seen in methylprednisolone, triamcinolone and paramethazone, dexamethasone and also betamethasone. Then these are the important one-liners. Okay, now we will have to see the contraindications of glucocorticoids. So in the contraindications of glucocorticoids, these include psychosis, if there is psychosis, epilepsy, because these glucocorticoids will decrease the seizure threshold. If there is glaucoma, peptic ulcers, osteoporosis, renal failure, ileocecal tuberculosis and congestive heart failure, we should not give glucocorticoids. Side effects of glucocorticoids include hypertension, edema, alkalosis, hypokalemia, Cushing's habitus because of redistribution of fat, stria, hyperglycemia and muscle weakness can be seen. Osteoporosis, glaucoma, peptic ulcer disease can occur, osteoporosis can occur, and at higher doses osteonecrosis can occur, and there can be delayed wound healing is also seen. So if you see the uses of these glucocorticoids, now in the uses, first we have replacement use. In this we have acute adrenal insufficiency. If there is acute adrenal insufficiency, this is actually an emergency condition. Here there is immediate management with IV hydrocortisone is given. And here if you see the chronic adrenal insufficiency or in Addison's disease, we have to give oral doses of hydrocortisone can be given. In chronic adrenal insufficiency or Addison's disease, oral doses of hydrocortisone can be given, and in mineralocorticoids like fludrocortisone can be given. In congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which occurs due to the congenital deficiency of enzymes like 11 hydroxylase or 3 beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, which are involved in synthesis of corticosteroids. In this we give steroids for 6-week period, right? Then in these we give steroids for 6 weeks period. Then if you see the diagnostic use, dexamethasone suppression test is useful in Cushing's syndrome. Then we have antenatal use. Antenatal use is mainly to accelerate the fetal lung maturation before 32 weeks of gestation, and in some there is decreased incidence, severity and complication of respiratory distress syndrome. You also see with the help of steroids we can decrease the incidence of patent ductus arteriosus, periventricular and intraventricular hemorrhage. Then we have non-adrenal uses. So these includes use as anti-inflammatory drug. As anti-inflammatory drug, we use it in rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, gouty arthritis. In eyes, it is used for conjunctivitis, keratitis, iritis, iridocyclitis. In steroids, steroids are actually contraindicated in herpes simplex keratitis. Then second, we have anti-allergic. Anti-allergic, these can be used as for anaphylaxis, especially drug of choice is adrenaline. Urticaria, angioedema and serum sickness can occur. Inhalational route in chronic severe asthma, we can give IV hydrocortisone can be given in status asthmaticus. In skin, we can give these for pemphigus vulgaris, exfoliative dermatitis, and for Stevens-Johnson syndrome, steroids can be given. Then steroids are also given for immunosuppressive use, especially in organ transplantation. To prevent the graft rejection, we give these steroids. Steroids are also useful in autoimmune diseases like myasthenia gravis, and also in collagen vascular diseases like SLE and polyarteritis nodosa. These are also useful in ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease if not responding to 5-amino-salicylic acid. Then there can be anti-cancer traits. So these can be used due to the prominent lymphocytic action in malignant cells. Then in these steroids can be used in acute lymphocytic leukemia, lymphoma and breast cancer. Steroids with selective glucocorticoid action without sodium and water retaining action, we can use betamethasone and dexamethasone. These betamethasone and dexamethasone will decrease the cerebral edema due to malignancies and tuberculosis. Then steroids are also useful in severe inflammatory conditions like tuberculosis and meningitis. Steroids are useful. Then steroids are contraindicated in intestinal tuberculosis because of increased risk of perforation. Steroids are used in sarcoidosis. They are also used in thrombocytopenia, especially prednisolone is used, which will decrease the bleeding tendencies. In autoimmune hemolytic anemia, prednisolone can be used. In order to decrease the neurological deficits, in spinal cord injury, large doses of methylprednisolone is given for 8 hours. Large doses of methylprednisolone are given for 8 hours. In long-term use will inhibit hypothalamic pituitary axis, so should not be withdrawn abruptly because this will precipitate adrenal insufficiency. Recovery from suppression takes either 1 year or longer. Large single dose is less harmful than small doses given for longer period. During stress like infection or trauma, steroids should be given unchanged, or we have to increase the steroids. To prevent the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis suppression, steroids can be given on the alternate day. So this is about the important points about uses of steroids. Thank you for watching.